Hello students, welcome to this session. In this session we are going to start a new chapter number 13. In this chapter we have to study the topic photosynthesis in higher plants. In previous classes certainly you have studied regarding photosynthesis and you came to know the various aspects of photosynthesis. Nowadays we know the complete mechanism of the photosynthesis. We know that only green plants can produce the food by the process of photosynthesis. And on green plant, all the organisms, all animals, human beings are dependent upon for their nourishment. That means the green plants by way of photosynthesis are only organisms which are producing food for the entire world. They are autotrophs, and so they are called as universal producers. As well as you know the simple formula of the photosynthesis, that is CO2 plus H2O sunlight, chlorophyll, C6H12O6 plus H2O plus O2, 6 CO2, 12 H2O, 6 H2O, 6 O2 after balancing. This is the formula of photosynthesis which we know nowadays. This is the simple formula, but the photosynthesis is not a one-step biochemical reaction. It is very complicated and is completed after number of biochemical reactions. These all things we know. We know presence of sunlight, the green part, particularly the leaves, synthesize carbohydrate. C6H12O6 is carbohydrate. Here the synthesis, combination reaction takes place. The site is chlorophyll. We also know that chlorophylls are the green pigment which are found in chloroplasts. During photosynthesis, the solar energy, photon, is converted into chemical energy. This all information nowadays we know. But we should know that on reaching to this concluded information, concluded mechanism of the photosynthesis passed through a long history of 200 years. During this period, long period of the 200 years, number of scientists were involved to know the photosynthesis know about the photosynthesis. They were continuously involved in doing their own experiments to find out the certain information regarding photosynthesis. In earlier time, it was thought that the plant get food from soil only. But later on, there was a scientist who did certain experiment, and by his experiment he concluded, he propounded that not only the soil is responsible for the production of food inside the body of the plants. That very scientist was von Helmont. Von Helmont, by his experiment, told that apart from the soil, there are certain factors which assist, which take part in production of food inside the plant body. After von Helmont, number of scientists, they discovered respective informations by their own experiments. Some scientists discovered that carbon dioxide takes part in photosynthesis. Some scientists discovered that oxygen is evolved during photosynthesis. Some scientists discovered that photosynthesis is light dependent biochemical reaction. And after that, after the long period of experiment and discoveries, ultimately in 1931, there was a scientist, C.V. Van Niel, who formulated the empirical formula of the photosynthesis by doing certain experiments with sulfur bacteria. And after him, there was another scientist, Robert Hill, who gave this complete formula. In this session, we will discuss the experiment and the conclusion or the findings of the different scientists in the course of a study of photosynthesis. Now here we will discuss the relationship between air and photosynthesis. Air and photosynthesis. During the course of advancement in the field of science, there was a scientist, namely Joseph Priestley, who in 1774 by his experiment discovered the oxygen But he did not coin the name of that particular gas which he discovered as oxygen. After him, the name of oxygen was coined by another scientist. That scientist was Lavoisier, who coined the name of oxygen in 1775, just after 1 year of the experiment of Joseph Priestley. Now we will discuss what type of experiment the Joseph Priestley did for discovering the oxygen gas. He did number of experiments by taking a bell jar. Bell jar is made up of glass. His experiment is called as bell jar experiment. In airtight bell jar, he put a burning candle and a mouse rat. And he found after some time the burning candle got extinguished and the rat or mouse got suffocated and died. On the basis of this happening, this experiment, he concluded that there is certain constituents in the air which was inside the bell jar, which was required for the burning candles to continue burn, and also was helpful for the survival of the mouse. And after some time, that constituent of the air is exhausted, used by the burning candle and by the mouse, by breathing. And due to that, the burning candle got extinguished and the mouse died. That means due to burning of the candle and breathing of the living organisms, a certain constituents of the air is damaged or gets exhausted. That was the conclusion of the Priestley by this first experiment. And after this first experiment, he did another experiment. He repeated the experiment. But the difference was that beside the burning candle and the living mouse, he put a mint plant. This is the pot of the plant. He put a mint plant in the bell jar. And repeat the same experiment, previous experiment. He found that neither the burning candle getting extinguished or nor the mouse is getting died or suffocated. Thus, on the basis of observation of the second experiment, he concluded that the damaged part of the air due to the burning candle and breathing of the living organisms is restored or compensated by the mint plant. Plant is restoring the damaged constituents of the air which was consumed by the burning candle or breathing of the living organism like mouse. On the basis of his hypothesis or conclusion, just after 1 year, Lavoisier said that that gas which is released by the plant, green plant, mint plant, and which compensate the constituent of the air damaged by burning candle or due to breathing of the organisms is oxygen gas. Oxygen gas. Oxygen. And by this way, he coined the name of the oxygen gas. In next session, we will discuss what type of experiment was done to know that photosynthesis is light dependent biochemical reactions. These all things we will discuss in next session.